In this lesson, we're going to be talking about what you will learn. So this should be your set of expectations in terms of the level of information that you'll be getting as you go through this set of videos and lessons. We'll be talking about a lot of different protocols. Of course, we'll be talking about the foundation protocols for the TCP/IP suite. We'll be talking about Internet Protocol, which is IP. We'll be talking about the Transmission Control Protocol, which is TCP. We'll be talking about the User Datagram Protocol, the Address Resolution Protocol. We'll be talking about those as just foundational, fundamental protocols for how everything else works and how it goes together. We'll be looking at these in a great amount of detail, looking at the bit level in most cases so we can actually see how the different header fields for these different protocols actually work and how they interact with different protocols and how systems interact with one another using the different pieces of information in these header fields. We'll be talking about application layer protocols as well. So Simple Mail Transport Protocol, Hypertext Transport Protocol, Post Office Protocol, those are email and web protocols. We'll be looking at those and how they actually work at the protocol level. We're not going to be talking about, so here's an email client and here's how you create an email and how it gets sent. We'll actually be looking at how you would send an email at the protocol level and the underlying protocols that work underneath something like the Simple Mail Transport Protocol. We'll be looking at a number of utilities. We'll be looking at Wireshark, which is a way that we capture packets. We'll be looking at ping, which is a way to do some network diagnostics. We'll be looking at a utility like Netstat, which does network statistics. As I've said previously, these different utilities for the most part work on just about any platform or operating system you may be running across. There may be some slight variations in some case. For example, we'll be looking at ifconfig. There's a variation of it for Windows called ipconfig. But for the most part, these foundational utilities like ping and netstat, for example, run across any operating system that actually uses TCP/IP for networking. These utilities are really critical to making a TCP/IP implementation functional and useful. They're the way that we interact with the network. They're the way that we gather information about how the TCP/IP layers are working, how your system is connected to the internet, whether it's connected to the internet. We're going to be using all of these utilities that I've just mentioned and explaining how they actually work and operate and the information that you can get from them.